For you?
I think I'll go first, please.
OK, it's entertainment. This is your question then, Vicky. Which Disney animation features the song A Whole New World? Is it Aladdin, The Jungle Book or Cinderella?
Well, I don't watch many Disney films, I have to admit, and I haven't seen The Jungle Book for years. I don't think it's The Jungle Book. I don't think I've seen Cinderella at all, so I'm going to discount that because I do think it's Aladdin.
Aladdin, A Whole New World, you think?
Yes.
It is correct. Aladdin. OK, your question, Kevin. What was the name of the character played by Jason Donovan in Neighbours? Mike, Shane or Scott?
I believe he was Scott.
Jason Donovan played Scott in Neighbours. It's the right answer. OK, back to you, Vicky. Which singer-songwriter topped the charts with her debut album Made of Bricks in August 2007? Lily Allen, Kate Nash or Amy Macdonald?
I have to admit, I don't know. I should probably listen to more music. I'm going to go for Kate Nash.
Made of Bricks.
Yeah.
It's the right answer, Kate Nash. I relieved Vicky. Kevin, who played a crazed photojournalist in the 1979 Francis Ford Coppola film Apocalypse Now? Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper or Jack Nicholson?
It was just a cameo role towards the end of the film when the soldiers eventually reached their destination to try and find Colonel Kurtz. And it was Dennis Hopper.
Well, that kind of preamble, you just know the right answer's coming, don't you? It's correct. Dennis Hopper played a crazed photojournalist in Apocalypse Now. So, back to you then, Vicky. The songs 1 O'Clock Jump and April in Paris were the theme tunes for which band leader? Count Basie, Duke Ellington or Glenn Miller?
I bet Bill knows this one. Again, it's going to have to be a guess, I'm afraid. I'm going to go for Count Basie.
Count Basie, 1 O'Clock Jump and April in Paris. It's right.
Oh.
That really was just a lucky shot, was it? Doesn't matter.
Brilliant.
Put you in the lead again, and Kevin under pressure. Will another egghead be about to go out? Kevin, what were the first words spoken by Mickey Mouse in the 1929 film The Carnival Kid, the first time his voice was heard on film? Is it calm down, Pluto, oh my gosh, or hot dogs?
Now, obviously, he was associated with Pluto, and that was a phrase that he often used. I'm talking about him as though he was real, aren't I, dear? If it's called The Carnival Kid...
The Carnival Kid.
Carnivals have stalls selling things and that, so... I honestly don't know it, but I would be inclined, although calm down Pluto is a phrase associated with Mickey Mouse, the fact it's called The Carnival Kid, I'm going to go for hot dogs.
Hot dogs. It's like watching a master craftsman at his business, clutching at all the potential clues in there and getting the right answer, Kevin. Yeah, hot dogs, the first word spoken by Mickey Mouse on film, which takes us to sudden death. And, as I say, some brilliant workings by Kevin. So, Vicky, your question. Who played the politician Francis Urquhart in the 1990 TV drama series House of Cards?
I didn't watch it myself, so I'm just trying to think of an actor who might have played a politician. I can't think of anyone, to be honest, so I'm going to take a complete stab in the dark. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm going to say Ian McShane.
It's Ian Richardson. Ian Richardson, don't know if that rings a bell now. You know the phrase, you might say that, but I couldn't possibly comment. It's kind of passed into the general language, but that was Francis Urquhart's phrase in House of Cards, and then to play the king and the final cut, played by Ian Richardson. So nothing there for you, Vicky. Chance then for Kevin to win it. Kevin, who directed the 1949 film The Third Man, starring Orson Welles and Joseph Cotton?
Yeah, Carol Reed.
Yeah, you know your film, don't you? Carol Reed is correct, directed The Third Man, which means, Vicky, it's not to be. There was a point at which I thought just might work for you, but Kevin, you're playing in the final round, and Vicky, you won't be appearing there. Would you both please come back and join your teams? As it stands now, it's all square. The Museum of London and the Eggheads have lost one brain from the final round. Our next subject, ho-ho, it's come up. It's history. A fight to play this one, I suspect. But the only ones who are available are Becky, Jack or Rob. History.
Do you want to stay back for later, or...?
I don't know.
Let's do it, Rob. Go for it, Rob.
All right, shall I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
Who do you want to play then, Rob?
Well,
Vicky.
Daphne's quite good at history. And CJ's quite good as well, but they're all quite good.
Everyone's quite good.
Everyone's quite good.
I'll take CJ.
OK, let's have Rob and CJ into the question room then. So, Rob, what's it to be, the first set or the second set of questions?
I'll take the first set.
Good luck, Rob. Here you go. Which King of England established authority over Wales in the 13th century? William I, Richard I or Edward I?
I spent a long term at uni studying this. I'm hoping I remember it right. I think it's Edward I.
A long term studying it and wondering if you've forgotten it.
Yeah.
It's the right answer, Edward I. OK, CJ, your first question. Who was the US president at the end of World War II? Truman, Eisenhower or Ford? Who was the US president at the end of World War II? But the only element of history you enjoy, isn't it, your US presidents?
I'm reasonably fond of this category, yeah. Truman took over just before the end after Roosevelt died, so it's Truman.
Truman, Harry S. Truman. Yes, it's the right answer. So, one each. Back to you then, Rob. What was the profession of John Wilkes Booth, the man who assassinated Abraham Lincoln? Was he a barrister, an actor or a doctor?
I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to go with the first thing that's popping into my head. It's actor.
It's the right answer, Rob. 2 to you. CJ, this is your question. The Olmec and the Mixtec were ancient civilizations in which modern-day country? Greece, Peru or Mexico?
Just got to make sure I get this the right way round. I don't want to get confused with the Toltecs as well. No, I think they're Mexico. I think they're Mexico.
Olmec and Mixtec were ancient civilizations in Mexico. That's right. So, third question to you, Rob. In 1963, the public and the government of which country were rocked by the Great Flag debate as they could not decide on a new design? Is it Canada, Denmark or Italy?
I feel... Oh, it's a tough one. I'm going out on a limb and saying Denmark, I think.
It's Canada.
Oh.
It's Canada, Rob. Any could tell me, was this, I don't know, just guessing here, did they remove the Union flag
the Union
from
jack off it and got that one with the two red bands and the red maple leaf, yeah.
People think that it's become such a common icon now, the Canadian flag, that people tend to assume it's always been there, but it's actually only been there since 1965, that flag.
So that wasn't your question, it was Rob's, and he got it wrong. Gives CJ a chance for a place in the final round. CJ, the Battle of Hexham took place during which conflict? The Crimean War, the Wars of the Roses, or the English Civil War?
I haven't heard of it. Can you spell Hexham, please?
H-E-X-H-A-M.
It's certainly an English-sounding name, isn't it? Daphne's going to slap me silly, but I'm going for War of the Roses.
And the Battle of Hexham took place during the Wars of the Roses. It's correct, CJ. So in this battle with the Museum of London, that puts the Eggheads in the ascendant. You'll be playing in the final round, CJ, and Rob, you won't be. Would you both please come back and join your teams? So the Museum of London have now lost 2 brains from the final round. The Eggheads have lost 1. We go to our last head-to-head before the final round, and it's arts and books. Chance to even it up. Becky or Jack? Who wants to play arts and books?
Becky, you were quite keen.
I did say I would do it.
OK, and you can choose from Chris or Daphne.
I'm going to go against Chris.
OK, let's have Becky and Chris into the question room then.
Okay.
So, Becky, your choice, first or second?
I think I'll go a bit different this time, and I'll go for second.
OK, this is Chris's question then. Chris, Who wrote the 1957 novel Dr. Zhivago? Fyodor Dostoevsky, Boris Pasternak, or Leo Tolstoy?
Well, by 1957, Dostoevsky and Leo Tolstoy were both long dead, so it's Boris Pasternak.
Yeah, Boris Pasternak is correct. But Dr. Zhivago. Okay, Becky, this is your question. In which European city does Mozart's opera The Marriage of Figaro take place? Seville, Budapest, or Paris?
Well, opera really isn't my strong point, but I'll have a go. I'll go with Seville just because it's come to my head.
You got the right answer. Seville is correct. So a little more testing, but got it there. Well done. Chris, Cecilia Bartoli is a famous name in which field of the arts? Sculpture, poetry, or opera?
Don't think it's opera. And I don't think she's a poetess. I think she's a sculptress, so it's sculpture.
It's opera.
Oh.
It's opera. So, a slip there. Well, Becky, is this tactic going to work for you? And this question, I can see, is back to literature for you, which you might prefer. In which year did the poet Dylan Thomas die? 1953, 1973, or 1993?
Right. I don't think it was as late as 93. Again, I'm not a huge sort of brain on Thomas, but I'm going to maybe plump for 73, 1973.
Okay, Dylan Thomas to go into a 2-1 lead. It stays all square. It was earlier, it was 53. Dylan Thomas died in 1953. So nothing there, Becky. A chance gone begging, but let's see how it goes on these third questions for both of you. Chris, this is yours. Art brut is the French term for which artistic movement? Abstract expressionism, outsider art, or surrealism?
Brutal art. I'd never heard of an art movement called outsider art. And I think they'd intellectualise more about abstract expressionism as well, so I'll say outsider art.
It is outsider art. He's struggling in there, he's struggling, Becky, but he's got that right, which means you've got to get this then to keep the game alive. Becky, what is the first name of the title character in Gustave Flaubert's novel Madame Bovary? Is it Helen, Josephine, or Emma?
Well, it's been a few years since I've read Madame Bovary, but it's a lovely book and one of my favourites, so I'm going to say Emma, and I'll kick myself silly if I'm getting that wrong.
Emma Bovary. It's correct, you remembered it well. Ooh. Okay, both of you getting one wrong, but a fascinating contest nonetheless. We go to sudden death, and the first sudden death question goes to Chris. I sing of arms and the man is the first line of which ancient epic poem?
Ah, yes. Armavirum Quaicana. It's the Aeneid.
It's the right answer, Chris. Yes, I sing of arms and the man. Okay, well, this is shaping up to be a fantastic round. Becky, to keep it going again. Nora Barnacle was the wife of and lifelong inspiration for which 20th century novelist?
Gosh, I've never heard that name before. Doesn't help narrow it down.
Nora Barnacle.
Barnacle. Sorry, I'm afraid I can't even begin to start on something there. I'm going to pass. I'm really sorry.
You sure, Becky, before I take a pass, do you want to have a guess at a 20th century novelist?
My bookshelf has deserted me suddenly.
Well, that question room is
Sorry.
a tough environment. Is that going to be a pass then, Becky?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, it means Chris is through to the final round, but Chris, just out of interest, if you had been put in second, might be some comfort to Becky to know you could get this. Nora Barnacle?
Wasn't James Joyce, was it?
Yeah, James Joyce, Nora Barnacle. Some think that she was the inspiration for the character Molly Bloom in Ulysses. So it means, Chris, you are in the final round, and Becky, you won't be playing for the Museum of London there. Would you both please come back and join your teams? Okay, it's what we've been playing towards. It's time for the final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So Becky, Vicky and Rob from the Museum of London and Judith from the Eggheads, would you leave the studio, please? OK, that leaves you, Bill and Jack, playing to win the Museum of London, £33,000. Kevin, CJ, Daphne and Chris You're playing for something which no amount of money could buy. The Eggheads' reputation. As usual, I'll ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge, to confirm that, and you are allowed to confer. Museum of London, the question is, are your 2 brains better than the Eggheads' 4 brains? And Museum of London, do you want to go first or second?
I think we'll go with what's worked.
Yeah, let's go first.
First.
Off we go then. Here's your question. Good luck. In the TV series Life on Mars, in which decade did the main character find himself after an accident? The 50s, 60s or 70s?
Did you watch it?
I did watch bits of it, yes. It seemed like trying to do the Sweeney but in a politically correct way will sort of expose the political uncorrectnesses of past shows.
Journey to the Past, which was it?
Certainly was, and it felt very 70s to me, and Life on Mars is a song from the 1970s, so...
Indeed it is.
You're happy with that one, Bill?
Probably 73, but 70s.
Yeah.
Even giving me the date there of Life on Mars, the song. You've gone for the 70s?
Yes.
It's the right answer, yes, 1970s. Eggheads, which cartoon character brought on his superpowers by declaring by the power of Grayskull? He-Man, Mighty Mouse or Captain Marvel? Which cartoon character brought on his superpowers by declaring by the power of Grayskull?
Well, I'm told it's He-Man, but I've never seen it.
Have you not? He-Man the Master of the Universe? Oh, come on.
The power of Grayskull. He-Man is the right answer, by the power of Grayskull. OK, a second question each. This is for you, Museum of London. In December 2006, Bao Shi-shun, the then world's tallest man, was called upon to use his long arms to reach into the stomachs of which animals to pull out dangerous plastic shards? Camels, dolphins or zebras?
Do you remember?
It only rings the faintest of bells, so I'm not confident. Do you, Bill?
It certainly wasn't an elephant. You leave it to me then?
Camels, dolphins or zebras?
It was dolphins.
It's the right answer, yes, dolphins. Bao Shi-shun, putting his long arms in to pull out dangerous bits of plastic. Eggheads, this your question then. Which actor made headlines in November 2006 when he appeared to be drunk on the US chat show The View? Is it Brad Pitt, Jeff Goldblum or Danny DeVito? Which actor made headlines in November 2006 when he appeared to be drunk on the US chat show The View?
I have not heard this. I would certainly be inclined for that. But I've not heard this.
I'm thinking Jeff Goldblum.
I would have thought that's the one. It's surely not.
Oh, right, Jeff, then.
Couldn't possibly be that.
But you
it could be a false memory, but I'm...
Well, I can see it. It's going to be. I would have thought Goldblum or DeVito.
I think it's ringing a tiny bell from somewhere, but
That's good enough.
I may be entirely
Good enough,
wrong.
Kev,
I have not heard this.
Which actor appeared to be drunk on a US chat show called The View in November 2006?
As you can tell from the discussion, we're really not sure, but there's an inkling, tiny one, that might be Jeff Goldblum.
Going for that?
Yes.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Did he appear to be drunk? People thought he was drunk on a US TV chat show. Not him. Danny DeVito. It's Danny DeVito. Well, Museum of London. We don't often get this situation. Your fate in your own hands. £33,000, one question. If you get this right, we give you the money and you claim the Egghead scalp. In which country was the escape artist known as Harry Houdini born? Bulgaria, Romania or Hungary? In which country was the escape artist known as Harry Houdini born? For £33,000, which of those countries?
No idea.
I have an idea, but let's talk about it.
It's
certainly an Eastern European country.
Well, without doubt, yes. I mean, Hungary came up first in my mind when the question was being asked, but...
Shall we go for Hungary?
Well, Hungarian names are normally quite different, aren't they? Because Hungarian's a very different language.
We've both agreed on Hungary as our first guess, so or maybe it's more than the guess we had. So, Hungary.
I heard you saying that. That was your instinct, wasn't it,
What's
Jack?
the instinct? Yeah, damn it.
Instinct for £33,000. It is the right answer, Museum of London. You've won £33,000. You've beaten the Eggheads. £33,000. How does that feel, Eggheads, then?
We don't mind.
Yeah, right.
We're sicker than those dolphins.
As a parrot. And more to the point, how does that feel for you, Jack and Bill? Did you come here expecting to give them a
No,
good
of course
match?
not. We're going to give our best shots all around, and people try very hard today, but no, it doesn't seem real.
I came with no expectations. People obviously asked about the money, and it was the last. I said that's the last thing we're considering. It's,
And you played it with just the right attitude. That's the way to go. And you should see the excitement on the faces of those behind you. Because you two are cool, calm and collected. They're going ballistic. They can't believe it. £33,000. There, well done. Congratulations, and thanks for playing Eggheads. I'm not sure the Eggheads are going to say that. Of course they will.
Well done.
Join us next time on Eggheads to see if the new team of challengers will be just as successful. Until then, goodbye. Fantastic stuff.
It's been a great day anyway, but I'm not sure we've all taken it in what we've achieved here.
Bill set it off by winning the first round,
definitely.
and that got us going.
We had a few escapes, lucky escapes, a bit like Houdini, eh, Bill?
The Eggheads are more than welcome to come and see us at the museum, and they can do some swatting up.
This is our first time quizzing, but we're going to be out in every pub in London from now on, so everyone watch out.
Right, royal connections on the Priceless Antiques Roadshow next on BBC Two. And later, Catherine Tate joins Dave Gorman to judge the wild and wacky ideas in a brand new series. Genius begins tonight at 10.